Y'all, this one isn't just messy. This is personal, bitter, and straight-up explosive. When Iman Shumpert finally opened his phone and started typing, nobody expected a confession, nobody expected warnings, and definitely nobody expected him to call out Teyana Taylor and Aaron Pierre like this. But that's exactly what happened. And within minutes, the internet went cold. Because this wasn't some polite, wish them the best breakup statement. This was war. This was pain. This was a man saying, I told you so. Y'all, imagine watching your ex move on, smiling for cameras, posting couple goals, acting like everything is perfect, while you already know the ending. And then one day, it actually collapses, exactly how you predicted. That's when Iman stepped in. Not calm, not friendly, not diplomatic, but brutally honest. He didn't say it was unfortunate. He didn't say it was sad. He said something way darker. It was never love. 4 words. And those 4 words just blew up the entire relationship narrative. According to him, this wasn't romance, it wasn't destiny, it wasn't real. It was a pattern, a setup, a cycle he claims he already survived. He says he warned Aaron. He says the red flags were obvious. He says he watched the same story play out before: charm, loyalty, promises, then betrayal. And now, history repeated itself. Suddenly, this isn't just celebrity gossip anymore. This feels like receipts, like hidden truth. Like somebody finally exposing what really happens behind those perfect Instagram smiles. The clip spread fast. Comments exploded. Fans picked sides. Accusations started flying. And now everyone's asking the same question. Did Iman just expose the truth? Or did he just start the most toxic celebrity war of the year?
However, I had to file a motion to get him to leave me alone so we can both go and live our life in peace. Like, I'm confused because y'all know peace is what I want. Like, I don't want no smoke, bruh. Like, I'm too happy right now.
Y'all, something about this breakup didn't feel normal. Not sad. Not quiet. Not, we decided to part ways peacefully. Nah, this one felt calculated, tense, like a secret that had been waiting to explode. Because when celebrity relationships die, they usually fade out with PR statements and fake smiles. But this time, somebody broke rank. Somebody stopped playing nice. And that somebody was Iman Shumpert. At first, it looked like just another day on social media. Scrolling, laughing, mindless posts. Then suddenly, boom. A clip. A statement. A few cold, sharp words that hit like a punch to the chest. And within minutes, the timeline caught fire. Iman didn't congratulate anybody. Didn't wish them healing. Didn't sugarcoat a single thing. He said something way darker. It was never love. Not, it didn't work out. Not, timing was wrong. He said it was never real to begin with. And just like that, the fantasy shattered. Because we're talking about his ex-wife, Teyana Taylor. And the man she was publicly linked to, Aaron Pierre. 2 people fans thought were solid. 2 people who looked picture perfect. Red carpets. Soft smiles. Matching energy. The type of couple social media loves to romanticize. But behind that, according to Iman, it was all smoke. All performance. All temporary. And the craziest part? He claims he already knew the ending. Before the headlines. Before the unfollows. Before the breakup rumors. He says he warned Aaron. Let that sink in. Imagine privately telling someone, this won't last, and then months later, watching it collapse exactly how you predicted. That's not coincidence. That's either intuition or experience. And experience is where this story gets heavy. Because this isn't just a random outsider throwing shade. This is a man who is married to her. Years together. Kids together. A life together. So when he talks about patterns, people listen. In his words, this wasn't just heartbreak. It was repetition. He described it like déjà vu. Like watching the same movie twice, just with a different actor. Charm first. Then loyalty talk. Then
The thing you will have clear is that Teyana ain't take nothing from Iman. Oh, and that $1 million, y'all claiming that 7-figure, 8-figure, that it was a one-time fee of $1 million in damages. When Iman crashed the $400,000 Rolls Royce and Iman, whatever other stuff he did, that was the things he had to pay me back. Iman left me with a whole lot of shit. That's another thing. Let's be clear with that too. When you're dividing marital assets, when you're dividing houses and stuff, if it's still bills a part of it, if it's still whatever taxes, who you think got to pay for that? Because bitch, let's be clear. Bitch, you think auntie want to be stuck paying taxes and bills and da-da-da-da?
the scary part? After Iman spoke, people didn't calm down. They started digging. And when the internet starts digging, nothing stays buried. Not old clips. Not old interviews. Not old body language. Not even silence. Because silence? Silence looks suspicious when somebody just dropped a statement like, "It was never love." That sentence didn't just sting. It triggered an investigation. Suddenly fans weren't watching highlights anymore. They were rewatching everything, frame by frame, like detectives reviewing crime footage. Old red carpet moments resurfaced first. Teyana smiling, Aaron standing close, hands locked, chemistry looking effortless. But now, people weren't seeing romance. They were seeing distance, micro-expressions, half smiles, moments where one leaned in and the other leaned away. Tiny details nobody noticed before. Until now. Because context changes everything. A hug that once looked warm now felt staged. A laugh that once felt natural now sounded forced. And the comments started turning dark. This looks fake. He doesn't look comfortable. She's performing. Iman was right. And just like that, the fairy tale started rotting. Meanwhile, Iman? He didn't backtrack. Didn't apologize. Didn't clarify. "No, I was emotional." No PR cleanup. Nothing. Just quiet. And that kind of quiet? It's dangerous. Because when someone speaks once and then disappears, it feels intentional. Like they already said enough. Like they dropped the match and walked away from the fire. That's when people started connecting dots. Not rumors. Patterns. Because according to him, this wasn't random heartbreak. It was history repeating itself. And history leaves footprints. Fans pulled up timelines, dates, trips, appearances, moments where things looked perfect, then suddenly disappeared. No posts, no sightings, no energy. Like somebody unplugged the relationship overnight. Too fast, too clean, too convenient. Real love doesn't vanish like that. Real love fights. Real love gets messy. This looked like a contract ending. Cold. Professional. Done. And that's where the speculation got heavier. Because when something ends without emotion, people start asking uncomfortable questions. Was it image? Was it publicity? Was it convenience? Or worse, was somebody being used until they weren't needed anymore? And then came the part nobody expected. Close followers noticed something strange. Aaron's vibe changed weeks before the split rumors. Less smiling, less appearances, less posting. Like somebody already checked out mentally. Like he knew something we didn't. Like he'd already seen the storm coming. And that's when Iman's alleged warning started sounding less dramatic and more real. Because imagine this. Imagine another man, the ex-husband, pulling you aside quietly and saying, "Be careful." Not jealous, not angry, just calm. Serious. Like someone who already survived the crash you're about to experience. Would you listen? Or would you think he's bitter? Most people would ignore it. Most people would think he's just hurt. Until months later, you're standing in the exact same wreckage he described. That's the part that's haunting fans right now. Not the breakup. The prediction. Because heartbreak happens. But predicting heartbreak? That hits different. That feels like inside knowledge. Like somebody who already studied the playbook. And suddenly this whole thing stopped looking romantic. It started looking strategic. Like roles being assigned. Like people stepping in and out of a script. And here's where it gets darker. Because some fans started revisiting Iman and Teyana's old history too. Interviews where he looked exhausted. Moments where jokes felt tense. Times he hinted at feeling unappreciated. Stuff we ignored back then. Because celebrity couples sell happiness. Nobody wants to see cracks. But cracks were always there. We just didn't zoom in. Now, everybody's zooming. And the narrative flipped fast. Before, he was the ex. Now, he's the witness. Before, it was gossip. Now, it feels like testimony. Like someone stepping into court saying, "I've seen this before. Let me tell you how it ends." And that energy? It's unsettling. Because if even half of what he's implying is true, then this wasn't a love story. It was a cycle. Meet, charm, attachment, public fantasy, then detachment, then silence, then gone. Next person. Repeat. And Hollywood has seen that movie too many times. Different faces. Same ending. That's why this story feels heavier than normal drama. It's not screaming. It's cold. Calculated. Quiet destruction. And quiet destruction is scarier than chaos. Because chaos is emotional. Cold behavior? That's intentional. Now the internet's divided into camps. Team Iman. Team Teyana. Team Mind Your Business. But nobody's neutral. Because once somebody says it was never love, you can't unhear it. It plants doubt. In every photo, every smile, every memory. And the scariest part? We still haven't heard Teyana's side. And silence? Silence always makes things louder. Because when one person talks, and the other doesn't, people assume the worst. Right or wrong. That's how the internet works. And right now, the internet smells smoke. Which means they're waiting for fire. Because something tells me, this isn't the last time Iman speaks. This feels like chapter watching. Like a man who already knew the ending credits were rolling. That's what made this so unsettling. He wasn't chasing attention. He wasn't doing interviews. He wasn't going live crying. He dropped one cold statement, then disappeared. And somehow that silence screamed louder than any rant ever could. Because when someone talks too much, it feels emotional. But when someone says less, it feels calculated. Like they're protecting information. Like they know things they're not ready to say yet. And the internet can sense that. That's why timelines exploded overnight. T-pages, bloggers, reaction channels, everybody scrambling for clues. Old tweets resurfaced, cryptic captions, songs with suspicious lyrics, unfollow patterns, deleted photos. Fans started building full conspiracy boards, strings connecting dates, circles around events, slowly realizing something terrifying. This breakup didn't just happen, it unraveled, quietly. Like something that was never stable to begin with. And then came the bombshell theory that changed everything. Some insiders began whispering that the relationship might have been more about optics than emotion. Not confirmed. Not proven. But whispered enough to spread like wildfire. Because think about it. In Hollywood, perception is currency. Couples sell brands. Brands sell deals. Deals sell millions. Love? Sometimes love is just the decoration. And if that's true, then what were we watching all this time? Not romance. Marketing. Not chemistry. Convenience. Not forever. Temporary alignment. And if you look at it through that lens, Iman's words hit way harder. It was never love. Not bitterness. Not jealousy. A diagnosis. Like a man describing a system he already survived. That's when sympathy shifted. Because suddenly, he didn't look like the angry ex. He looked like the guy who tried to warn the next victim. And Aaron? Fans started looking at him differently too. Not as the new boyfriend, but as the guy who might have walked straight into a storm he didn't see coming. Because every recent clip of him felt heavy. Shoulders tense. Energy off. Eyes tired. Like someone carrying stress they couldn't explain publicly. And you know what's scary? Pain looks different when you recognize it late. Those little moments? Now they feel loud. Too loud. Like silent screams hidden in HD footage. And that's when the story stopped being entertaining. It started feeling tragic. Because heartbreak is one thing. But feeling used? That hits deeper. Feeling replaceable? That scar's different. Imagine giving your heart, your time, your trust, just to realize you were a chapter. Not the book. A placeholder. Not the person. And that's the emotion fans are picking up now. Not drama. Damage. And suddenly, the entire narrative flipped upside down. This wasn't celebrity tea anymore. It felt like emotional evidence. Like testimony from someone who already went through the same storm. Iman wasn't exposing secrets for clout. He sounded tired. Like a man reliving trauma. Like someone watching another person step into the same trap he barely escaped. And that kind of pain? It doesn't fake well. That's why his words stuck. Because pain recognizes pain. And the internet knows the difference between acting and scars. Meanwhile, Teyana stayed quiet. No response. No denial. No statement. Just silence. And in today's world, silence isn't peaceful. Silence is suspicious. Because if everything was clean, why not say something? If everything was love, why not defend it? But nothing came, which only made the theories louder. Because when one side speaks, and the other disappears, people assume there's more beneath the surface. And trust me, the public imagination is brutal. Now every move is under a microscope, every post dissected, every caption analyzed, every emoji questioned. It's not a relationship anymore. It's an investigation. And the scariest part? This might just be the beginning. Because stories like this don't end quietly. They escalate. Somebody talks. Somebody leaks. Somebody responds. And when that happens, it won't be subtle. It'll be explosive. Screenshots. Voice notes. Receipts. Truths nobody was supposed to hear. And if that day comes, this whole situation won't just trend. It'll detonate. Because once illusions collapse, they don't rebuild pretty. They expose everything ugly underneath. And maybe that's what we're witnessing right now. Not a breakup, not drama, but the slow death of a fantasy. The moment when the cameras turn off, and reality walks in. Cold, unfiltered, unromantic. And somewhere in the background, Iman's voice still echoes. Calm, certain, haunting. It was never love. For words. One statement. And just like that, an entire story fell apart. But something tells me, this isn't the last chapter. Not even close. Because in Hollywood, truth always leaks eventually. And when it does, somebody's image is going to shatter for good. And here's the part nobody wants to say out loud. This story isn't over. Not even close. Because what we just witnessed wasn't closure, it was exposure. The kind of exposure that cracks open doors people spent years trying to keep shut. Right now, somewhere behind the scenes, phones are buzzing, group chats are panicking, publicists are scrambling, and statements are being drafted that will never sound honest enough to fix what's already broken. Because once the truth slips out, you can't shove it back in. Iman didn't scream. He didn't beg for sympathy. He didn't run a press tour. He simply spoke, and the entire illusion collapsed on its own. That's not drama. That's damage. And damage like this spreads fast. Every day, new clips surface. Old interviews start sounding different. Lyrics feel personal. Body language feels guilty. You're not watching a love story anymore. You're watching a slow-motion betrayal. The kind where somebody loved harder than the other. The kind where one person walks away clean, and the other is left staring at emotional wreckage. And trust me, when silence hangs this heavy, it usually means one thing: more is coming.